Hey, welcome to Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate Cleanup. That's really what I'm calling it because we're venturing in towards the final stuff. But this is only, so interesting, the in-between. It's a lot of the real Monster Hunter experience, you know? Because this is the real world, I had to play today through an injury. Nothing crazy. It's a really dorky one. I feel lame calling it an injury in the first place. But I've been writing so much that I have messed up my finger, and this happens every few months. It's kind of what it is, until we get to a point where I can replace my body with some sort of cybernetic alternative. The reality of the situation is that biology is imperfect. It's just that simple. I don't want to be in pain. Who does? I'm good at tolerating pain. Like, I'm not really big into posting pictures of myself. I don't care about hiding, like, what I look like. It's just not a big deal to me. But I have a lot of tattoos. And as a result of getting those, you kind of just have to be able to sit and experience pain, right? So I was always not even trying to, up my own record or whatever. I was always remarked as being pretty good at tolerating the discomfort of being tattooed. And, I have some big pieces. I have my whole chest, and I have both my arms, and I've done the back of my neck, and I have my hands done. And that was all like a fun experience. Looking back now, it's not even top 10 worst experiences. There were moments in it that I would call deeply uncomfortable. And that's like, it's not even where I'm at right now with my finger and hand. It's just like annoying, and the joint cracks a lot right now. But the thing is I have some early onset arthritis, and my wrists suck, my fingers suck, my knees suck. And this is not something I want. It's not something I'm wishing for. It's weird that I even feel like I have to defend myself that way. I think, we're going to get really randomly psychological right here. I grew up in a very, like, I guess with a parent that is, like, very anti-medicine. And it's, like, it's really funny to me how provoked it is, to the point where, like, you can put on, like, a medical drama, and my mom will start getting, like, uncomfortable with the contents, or, like, angry at the characters for the choices they're making. And you know what? There could be legitimate history there. There could be, background of seeing doctors taking too much agency and maybe affecting people's lives. Like, I understand that the medical profession isn't without its warts, right? But I find it so interesting at a core, the science of it, the ability to fix people, that I've never really been all that cynical about it. I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what? Every now and then someone's going to blow up because you're testing something. But 9,000 people or entire generations of humanity might live because of that discovery. So I guess what you could say is I'm a bit more forgiving. Even in my own experience, right? Like, that's not dirt for you, cake for me, or whatever. I like, when I go and donate blood, for example, I ask for the med student. Like, do you have an intern here? Do you have someone it's their first day? Do you want someone who's looking to practice on as many people as they can? I'm not squeamish. Poke me. Go for it. I'm that guy. That's my preference. And I try and, like, put my money where my mouth is. It's my least favorite trait in other people when they don't. Am I just walking in a circle? This map kind of is a circle, so you can only do so much there. The thing is, too, is, like, and even I've experienced this, right? Like, you can think of the statement, brutally honest. Some people focus on the brutal. I prefer to focus on the honest. And there's elements of that type of dynamic that accompany pain and your ability to tolerate it. And just because you would be able to deal with pain doesn't mean everyone is able to deal with pain. That's true emotionally and physically and stuff like that. And even our own tolerances vary more than we would think, right? So there's a whole world of variation associated with that. So it's tough to just always remind yourself, even if you're really good at dealing with pain, that somebody else may find it intolerable or may not have as much experience as you do. And that is not something to be judged, even if your instincts make it feel like it should be. And I phrase that tactically because I've had to tell myself the same thing. Right? Like, even emotionally, to this day, I struggled with relating to normal people because most people hadn't grown up with addicts in their home. They hadn't had, a loved one commit suicide. They hadn't had abuse in their life. And that's a good thing, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I recognize there's a lot of statistics about how prolific abuse and sexual abuse and all those things are. And I'm not trying to dismiss that at all. I'm just saying, like, generally, if you've had a really rough experience, it can even just feel like other people haven't. If they act certain ways or approach certain things with levity that you might not be able to, or at the time can. So it's a really, it makes you feel very much like an outsider. And you have to just not be a dick about it. It's really, like, there's more well-phrased ways to, like, practice empathy and consider all of the different perspectives. Like, and that's good too. That's good information. But at a core, I think not being a dick about it is important. It's a good thing that somebody doesn't need something bordering on a war crime to feel like they've been, like, actually offended or upset or hurt. That's called being a healthy human being, not weak. And it's definitely a lesson you have to teach yourself. Leave that room for love, for patience, for people having had different experiences. But when, I had come from all of those horrible things, it often made it tough to relate before I learned those lessons. Lots of things like that in the world, though. Jeez. I think we got our 5 Anteca antlers, too. Nice. Look at that. Just nailing this Monster Hunter cleanup. I've kind of just decided to make peace with it for what it is. It doesn't seem like it's that bad, right? Like, I had done a fair amount of the big hunts. I don't think there's any hunts that remain, especially considering we've done, like, Ivory, Legiagross, and that we've done and succeeded against. So, what else could there even be for us to be worried about? Alright, let's go put away all the junk we just got. Presuming we have a little bit of junk. I like to keep a pretty empty inventory whenever I can. Even if I play, obviously, Final Fantasy 14, mentioned a bunch of times. It's an MMO, so inventory management is challenging if you are any type of hoarder, because there's so much stuff that you can have. And I tend to have 2 or 3 of my pages open in my personal inventory, not even counting retainers. Now, if you don't play 14, this statement means nothing to you. But if you do play 14, know that I raid. So I have a lot of stuff, but I make room for it. I organize, I optimize, I use my things. If I need it, but I can get it again easily, I either use it or get rid of it, because I can just get it again easily. Anyways. Lectures. What? Okay. I guess it's a Giganox episode because there's gonna be a lot of them. But why couldn't this be in the arena? That's my only complaint about that. Is like it's not in the arena. I just want another Psycho Serum. Do I not have any? Alright, well, whatever, bro. Be that way. Let's go find things with our face. Let's go with this. It's been like storming like crazy here recently, which doesn't bug me. It doesn't scare me a bit, but it makes like going out to walk the dog a little tough. Okay. Let's go hunt 3 Giganox, for God's sakes. I don't really love the map being the item. I recognize why it is. I understand the system, the game. I still don't like it though. Also, if I'm being honest, I don't really understand the scaling for my companions. Do they have like a max level? Is this like a they can hit the max like integer value for their bit or something? Like, are we gonna see 256 or whatever? Like, what is going on? I don't know. I literally don't. I'm not even being sarcastic. I really am not certain. Gosh, some things like that, I'm not certain. Like right now, I'm debating in my head. I don't even know where I'm trying to go. What I want to do with an idea that I've been kicking around. And the ultimate thing that I'm kind of stuck on is I wish I had more physical space that I could kind of dedicate to computing. And it's mainly because, okay, I can't find this stupid guy. Sure, bro, sure. And I want to like host something. I want to host a website personally. I have the basic design down. I got to iron out some stuff, but it's largely going okay. What my issue is like, I don't really want to host on a cloud. I'd like to build my own machine and host on that, which I'm perfectly capable of doing. But obviously, where are you going to put that machine? I'm kind of like in a building that at this point in time probably hasn't had the electrical redone in realistically 50 years. It's working for me right now, but I have had in my kitchen like the using too many appliances and the circuit just like pops and you gotta reset the board thing. I don't know the right term right now, but I've had that happen at least twice, which, you know, happens. But it just felt like a lot. I have this feeling that adding the regular power draw of the server is going to be an issue. Now, does that mean in the future that I don't still want to approach it? No, I do. Because I know, like, even a Raspberry Pi, realistically, can host a pretty impressive amount of traffic if you code it correctly. So I recognize that it's It's all about implementation. And I could do something with a very low power draw, stick it in a closet, and, you know, it'd be fine. Or even, like, I could, if I really needed something that was dedicated, right? I could get a another node for my mesh Wi-Fi system and do a direct Ethernet connection to the mini PC or server board or whatever, right? But again, it's just it's managing that, power plugs, doing all that stuff. It'd be cool to do, though. But I have a a tendency to scale, right? So when it comes to something like hosting a home server and then opening it up to the internet so that I can kind of host a website from it, I would probably look to stop me from hosting my media server. And then, okay, well, I have all these files and I need to optimize my storage solution. And now I'm buying racks for all of these, like, SSDs. And it's a whole thing. Now, I recognize, yeah, I know, you could still use hard drives, right? And it's a cheaper option for something like just holding media. But it'll be fast. If you had all SSDs. I don't even know how much. Probably quite a bit. For me, though, I prefer HDDs over SSDs. Namely, just for the longevity element. I don't care as much about price. Like, if you're gonna buy something, just save up for it and get it when you can afford it. Sometimes expensive things are expensive. That's just life. Ooh, I want to get out of there. But for me, you know, not having moving parts is worth a premium. It's actually one of my least favorite parts of my computer right now. I love my desktop computer. I definitely view it as, like, my baby, for sure. But it's fan cool, right? And even if I had an AIO, I'd have water moving. I'd have the fans that take the heat out, like on the actual AIO itself. And there's just, it's still not as static and passive a system as I want it to be. Now, passive cooling is getting better, but we can be honest and say it's not 100% there. If you're the type of person like me that views 65 as a high GPU temperature, like 65 degrees, at that point, I'm already like, oh, what is this game doing? Now, it's funny too, because I've had to kind of make peace with that not always being realistic. Because my GPU has started to get like mid-70s playing some games, some like very modern titles. And the performance is still good, right? And I have been told and believe that 75 is a perfectly fine at low GPU gaming temperature, especially if performance is strong. But I'm just like, it feels too hot. I like, because I do a lot of like old games and stuff like that, when I check my GPU temperature running something like this, it's usually like 40 degrees or something like that. It won't pull up in my recording, so let's check. 31 degrees, there you go. Right? Like, and my my passive temperature for my GPU is like, I saw it at 26 degrees before I started recording here, which was really great. But again, it's at 21% utilization. My CPU is doing about 12% utilization, getting solid 60 FPS, which is as much as I think you can access from this experience. And yeah, like, excellent type of thing, right? But some games just demand more, or they use processes that are just inherently more demanding, or maybe they do dumb things, right? Like I was doing some work just recently, and you know what? I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the site I was on or something like that, but it was like single threading the heck out of my CPU. So like one of my cores was at 49 degrees. All the others were at like 30, and I was like, why is this? I have a big fancy 8-core CPU. Use the cores. I don't know. Efficiency isn't a perfect thing. It's an ongoing process. Making peace with that is a nice thing. Oh, you know what? It's probably not going to be here right away. Darn, let's all just watch a YouTube video while it shows up. No. Pop my display over, type into something else. Really, that's like the true playing a game, grinding experience, isn't it? Oh, I have a few seconds to kill. Nothing's happening here. Okay, let me just do this. Get a drink. Cool. I actually could use a drink. I think I have some apple juice in the fridge or something like that. Yeah, warming effect is worn off. You don't say. That coffee only keeps you going for so long. Oh, I have coffee that's hot too. I could go get some of those things. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Hey, look, okay, then never mind. I was literally gonna walk away and go get a drink. But if we have a Giganox here, we'll fight the Giganox instead. We'll be appropriate. Make the right choice. Oh my god, bro. This one's small. I should have brought those instant antidote things. It's not a big deal that I didn't. It's just, they're nice, you know? Darn. I like that I at least get to do some hunting quests for my cleanup. You know, I thought it was going to be all gathering and stuff. So a few fights is good. I think the next one is another fight, so that's fine. And, you know, the benefit of these multiple monster hunts is that the health is pretty reduced, so it's more about practicing the basics of fighting the monster or having equipment that can allow you to undercompensate. And by undercompensate, I just mean like not do much to achieve a positive effect. Ooh, alright, let's go. Nice. We're just getting all the hits in here right now. I do love that I have Sharpener on. One of my favorite builds in Monster Hunter is oh god, what's the name of the angry pink dog thing in Monster Hunter World? Gosh darn, I can't recall it right now. But it has a 6-set, like a big Ronin style helmet. Something with an O. Anyways, that set I give Sharpener, and then I would run like a weapon that you need like protective polish as well, so you could like really quickly throw a very permanent high level polish onto your weapon. And it lets you use like this weapon with like a sliver of normal good sharpness. And it was just a tremendous amount of fun. As it should be, right? Hey, you bastard. I don't know why this thing flying like this is reminding me of like Gyp Zeros and Monster Hunter Freedom 1. Okay, you're gonna come here. I'm gonna fight ads really quick, bro. Or I guess that one ad. Alright. Hello. Come down. Oh, that's convenient. Great. Oh, you're gonna yell at me. Yelling, yelling, yelling. So much yelling. Okay, your butt's gonna explode with poison. Nice. Oh no. Oh no, I broke it. I broke the process. Good. That's how I want it to be. Uh-oh. Hey, you're going over there. What's so great about over there, man? Hey. Hey. Are you gonna go to sleep in front of me? You're like the worst friend to visit in high school. Gosh. All right, let's go. Come on. Oh no. Fine. Lovely. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go back. I lost my train of thought for a second. I was just checking a thing. I don't know, for my fellow Canadians, maybe you share my frustration, maybe you understand it. Canada Post is awful. And by that I just mean they take forever. Sometimes. And then when they do get stuff, they won't even deliver it to you. And you know, this sucks for me because I have issues with going to get things at certain places. I don't have easy methods of getting around all the time. I don't drive. And then, you know, depending on the day, there's medical concerns with being able to leave the house properly. Or without incident, I guess is the easiest way to phrase it. So when I started ordering things for delivery, like when I was young, right? Like I started working when I was 13. And then I got a PayPal as soon as I could. And I used eBay, right? And then I would order stuff online. And I've been ordering stuff online for a long time, and I just don't like stores. But it definitely sourced out of a genuine difficulty with going places, dealing with the realities of transport, and then getting what I want, not feeling pressured. I always felt like and I still feel like this. I make worse purchase decisions in real life. When I make purchases online, obviously I get to like review what I'm doing, I get to look at prices. I really don't like being seen as poor, right? I'm very sensitive to that for some reason. And the idea of going into a store, looking at something I want, and maybe going, well, I could, you know, save 50 bucks if I got this from another place. Online, I'll just order from the other place. No problem, easy, better. It's the best choice. It makes sense. No problem. In real life, I may very well pay $50 extra just because I'm in person and someone's looking at me. And I don't like the idea of having to do that. Now, that's a weakness. That's like something stores are even preying on, right? So that's one of the things I don't like to go. I don't like to get involved in all those psychological traps. And I don't really want to feel the distress of potentially falling into one or not. Even though I work jobs, like I've worked retail, right? Like I know the person on the other side, unless they're motivated by commission, doesn't give a crap. They just don't care, right? It's not a big deal to them. But still, that's not always how anxiety works. Okay. Yeah, but oh god, I'm just focused on how frustrating it is to deal with Canada Post right now. It's all I'm thinking about is how annoying it is. I've been trying to put it on my mind because I guess I had to go over. I missed the package, and it's actually, you know, today, luckily, it's not something that's too heavy. Because again, they'll fail to deliver something that like you need a car to move. And they have the big trucks and vans, and like I'll help you bring it in or something, but I don't have a vehicle, right? Like, what am I supposed to do? Rent a car every time I need to go pick something up from the post office? Like, it's just such a horrible failure of service. And I complain about it now. I complain every single time I get a card instead of a delivery temp. And I'm gonna even reach out to like the ombudsman as soon as I can, but it's just still frustrating to have these issues. And it seems like everyone else has the same experience too, right? And I understand why it happens, but I don't feel any sympathy, unfortunately, because you gotta do your job. Like, I love leaving early, so I recognize if you can optimize your workday to finish earlier, you want to. But you got to finish a way to do your job. You can't cut corners and be like, oh, I don't get to cut corners anymore. No, you got to like do the best job faster. And that's how I get an earlier day if I'm going to get one. And you don't always get one. So, I don't know. Like, that's all you can do, really, is complain and be frustrated and hope that eventually things work out. But it sucks a lot because I've done things like even when I did the Kickstarter, right? And when I did a Kickstarter, luckily it was successful. And I had to ship a bunch of books. I had to buy a bunch of my own books and have them shipped directly from the printer so I could have a volume and then sign them and then distribute them out. But the weight of getting them shipped meant, it was a reasonable delivery fee. And then that package didn't get delivered to me. So I paid the delivery fee to get it brought to somewhere else for me to have to go deal with it myself and have to get help to carry the books. And it was just like, I was so frustrated with the price that I had to pay Canada Post in that instance. Because I didn't get a delivery service. I gotta move it to a different building service. And just so dumb, so frustrating, especially if something's getting done locally, right? Like, I don't want to pay for you to move it to a different building. And the fact that they're basically getting away with it, stupid. Like, I don't really want anyone to ever lose their livelihood, but there has to be a degree of reprimand. And if people aren't willing to do the job, like, you need people in there who are going to. Let's see if we can I outrace my poison? It's never smart to do, but I can. Cool. Great. I was like, I'm not going to be able to make it much longer, so. Okay. Well, there we go. That's lovely. Lovely. All right. Yeah, that was a lot of like stuff. Sure. I'll take my one herbal medicine. Oh, wait. I think I have some more firecasters, right? Yeah. I'm just thinking this lady is going to have, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Lovely. All right, well, that'll Wait, really quick. I took one too, right? Great, I did. Okay, the last one for 7. And then what are we looking at to finish here? Okay, there's some more to do there, some reasonable work to do there, and a little bit of work to do there. So there's stuff to do. Oh, wrong one. Alright, hunt all monsters, Jade Barrel, and another Giganox. Whoever said the pen is mightier than the sword never had to fight a Jade Barrel and a Giganox with nothing but quill and ink. Hunters, head to the tundra post haste. Tales of your victory shall be writ large. I ate, right? Yeah. Cool. Alright. I don't know about anybody else, but I tend to, as a person, be very consistent in my decision making, I guess we'll call that. And I'm not really influenced by other people, right? Like, I don't really care if anyone likes me, and I would say it's actually patently unimportant to me if people like me. I am fine with having friends, but I don't need them to feel like a whole person. And I think that's something that isn't very frequently the case for others. But I really find it frustrating when people change who they are a lot because of the people they're spending time with, or even like the social groups they're getting involved in. I definitely kind of get cross with that type of thing. I prefer people to be more consistent and not change how they think when it comes to like personal taste. It is what it is, but like, I struggle with it, especially because I'm a really picky person when it comes to the type of people that I like. So sometimes as well, like folks will be really interested or responsive with someone, and I just like, I won't even kind of understand it. I'm just like, this like person, like what the, why? And it's just because I don't tend to get along with people, you know. I'm not really a people person. I think a lot of folks, you know, they start talking and chat and they're like, oh, this is fun. I see something. I relate to this person a little bit. And even if I do relate to somebody a little bit, I don't find that all that significant. Like, I don't need a relationship with everyone that I relate to, right? I can go, this person is fine. I want the best for them, but I want it away from me. But then some people are just friendlier and nicer. Or they're just like, I don't know. To me, and here's the thing. This is a perspective deal, right? When people are friends with people without much qualification for why, and by that I mean like there's some obviously interesting element to the person, or there's something that makes them unique, or there's something that complements them, you, personality-wise. If there's not something like that, to me it just seems like being attention starved, like just being like needy and having that met by kind of like random interactions and people, having like a really low standard for social interactions or friends, you know, like, and that's fine. Some people aren't like me, and I recognize right out of the gate that I'm being a little intense there. It's just how I am. Like, I've never really made friends all that easily, but I've also never wanted to. And I can say that as someone who can get along with folks fine. I can be around people and be at a party. I can lay the thing. I can call people in. I can say words and be nice or funny or have a drink and do all those things. Like, I can play the part, but I just don't get any joy out of it. And when the performance is done, I'm always glad to stop the performance. But when other people kind of willingly keep it up or give these things any type of importance, it's like, what? Why do you even care? What? Like, I can't even fathom it. It'd be like if, you know, you were talking to your boss and say you're a sanitation worker or something, right? And you're like, hey, boss, do I need to go do this route and grab these extra things to empty out? And he's just like, ask a panda. And he's like, what? Like, that's that sentiment of like, I don't even know what to do with this information. It's kind of how I feel about people putting that much weight into social connections, especially kind of like seemingly random ones. I fell into the trap too because, you know, I'm an introvert in an extrovert world, so you get crap advice as an introvert sometimes because extroverts try and solve your problems from their point of view, and while the help is nice, they don't really understand, especially if you're someone like me who has like a pretty kind of like at times angry perspective towards other people and, you know, all of this. So I got the advice when I was young, you know, be around people. It's good for you. Putting yourself out there is really healthy, and challenging yourself that way is going to give positive returns. So for a long time, I tried, right? I put myself in social situations. I went to group dynamics. I joined groups. I participated in things, and all it did was make me angrier and more frustrated. And it made me feel like I was wrong for being that way, and that I needed to, you know, kind of like fix it. And that's not right, nor is it fair. You gotta break the secret entrance? Nice. Yeah, so that didn't work for me. Trying to be around people didn't make me better, it just made me more specifically spiteful. You know, instead of going, oh, I wish this thing didn't have to happen to me, is like, I wish X didn't do this, and this person was better. And like, that's actually a core of my frustration too, is I want people to be better than they are, and that's a really unfair comparison and perspective to have. It's judgmental, it's elitist. Like, I can recognize these things, while still having to contend with the reality of that being kind of how my view is at times. Nice. Yeah, and I have an extra judgmental view of men, right? Like, I very infrequently want to even spend time or talk to other men because I just judge dudes so harshly. I'm so displeased by them in general. Can I jump off this? It kind of looks like I can. No, that's cool. I definitely I was a bad friend to a lot of my female friends growing up, because I didn't like men. I never got along with other males, and that was always a really big struggle for me, like my connection with men, because like I just had, had that initial bad experience, I think, not getting along with my own father, and that set me up for just not liking other dudes. But I didn't have a traditional masculine kind of influence on my life, so there's a lot of like just immediate disconnect with me and other dudes, right? Like I don't play sports, I don't know sports, I don't watch those things, I generally don't have an approach that a lot of other dudes do, even in like the subgenres, right? Like when I got into video games, I like Monster Hunter, I didn't like Call of Duty. None of the other people I knew played Monster Hunter. All the other guys I knew played Call of Duty. So I, even in those places, felt different from dudes. And that's the thing, is someone who, like, 2024, I identify as a dude. Like, there's no ambiguity to my own identity. But I don't feel like a dude, even if I identify as a dude. If that makes sense. I don't have a working relationship with the current definition of, or many of the definitions of masculinity. So I definitely have fewer touch points to have friendships with men. And that definitely makes it like tough. Like I was saying, for like when I had a lot of female friends growing up, all of my friends were women. When they would get a boyfriend or something, very infrequently would I be impressed. And I think, like, typically, right, that reaction is brought on from a guy having a crush on the friend, having some emotional feelings. They aren't being satisfied, they aren't coming into reality. So that jealousy kind of manifests as frustration with the person who is getting that affection. But that was not the case with me. There were definitely people who I had no romantic feelings for. And I was still just like, God, your boyfriend could eat a sack of bricks. Like, he sucks so much. And it's just one of those things, right? I was thinking it, I think, that's the common perspective, especially if you're a woman and your friend is like, oh, I hate your boyfriend, he sucks, he's not very good. You're just like, oh, okay, you just have a crush on me. I think that's the common way to view it. But there were really moments when I was thinking, why wouldn't I date this person? And that was really the perspective I was looking at it from. Like, oh, I don't like this, or I don't like how they present themselves in this way, or I don't like this issue, or I don't like how they respond when they talk about this. There's all these things that would usually supersede anything else for me. But it was all, oh, I forgot to grab more antidotes. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. That's something too, is like, I think because I was mainly friends with women growing up, if a dude is super weird around women, like I can't be friends with them. You know, like if I've had one or two buddies, and like if you have a friend over, or say like you have an attractive female in the room, they like become this weird, awkward like person. They're not even themselves anymore. That's so frustrating. And it kind of comes back to what I was talking about earlier. It's like when people change because other people are around, it gives the impression to me that they're desperate for attention or affection, or they don't have a true sense of self. I don't really like any of those things. A lacking sense of self is actually such a huge frustration to me, because I want to be able to trust people when they talk about what they like. And when that's an ongoing thing, right? Like when there's room for them to like make mistakes in matter of taste, that's horrifying, right? Especially like I think one of my biggest fears when it comes to like affection or something is not someone like hurting me, but it would just be seeing 100% of what I am and deciding that they made a mistake having affection for me down the road, right? Like that luckily hasn't happened in my life, but I think that would hurt way more than like being cheated on or something. Because I can understand crazy stuff happens, but it would be really at my core disheartening to learn that I just lost appeal or became boring. And I think that's why it's so frustrating to me. When people don't know what they are, you don't know what they're going to become. And if your happiness is kind of entangled in them wanting to be a part of your life, you kind of get attached to them not doing too much growth. Or you get scared of it. Or you're frustrated that they didn't already do it. And that's being human. I think there's a lot of things there. I, as someone who's always really consistently kind of been myself, really hasn't experienced as much change, as many choices that I've stuck with for decades. And I don't feel any grief over any of those things. Like, I've never felt like I've mourned anything. I just feel like I've stuck to the plan and who I want to be, because I didn't lie about it in the first place. And that's another thing that frustrates me, right? It's like sometimes folks know what they want, but they don't do it. And then they get resentful at the things that they chose because they aren't the things they didn't choose. And you're like, what the heck is that crock of shit, right? Like, where do you get off holding on to that type of frustration? And that's something that, like, I think gets overvalued, right? Like, people realize, oh, I made a mistake and this is what I actually want. And that's fine. Like, you're allowed to go back and do something. But, like, say, like, here's this example of what I'm talking about. If you know in your heart that you don't want kids, but then you go around and have kids anyways, and then you spend 25 years raising a kid, you love your kid, everything works out, but you change your life completely. I don't really care if you go down the road and go, oh, I didn't really want to have kids, I regret all that time I lost, because you could have just done what you knew you wanted to do then and there. Regrets are normal, but you don't get any points for figuring them out, you know? And I don't really have any sympathy for someone who didn't have the willpower to do what they wanted to do when they knew they wanted to do it. And it's my least favorite part of people. I find it really attractive when somebody just does what they want, whether it offends anyone. That's why, like, I can respect people who don't have my opinion, but at least they're pursuing their truth and living honestly and living a life that they can be proud of independently. Because folks living any other way is just, you don't know how to really deal with them if you want to have anything other than a facetious interaction. Did I, like, stop a poison drop there? That is awesome. I feel like this has to be close to done, So we're just gonna stay by this head here. Hope it all works out. Oh my god. Come on. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks for knocking me out of that, buddy. All right. Let's play smack you in the head. Ugh. Nice. What joy. What joy. All right, lovely. Cool. That's not too bad for what it is. And I guess that's probably going to finish up our 7-star, right? Like, that's all we had to do, I think. Good feeling if so. Not too many of these village quest ranks left to go, if so. Maybe a video or 2. Maybe 3 if it really goes bad. And then Mark of a Hero and the final hunt. Lovely. I will save. Thank you very much. Wait, no, I should go look at that thing to prove that I've completed it. Let me see. Powered. Beautiful. There we go. Only 2 more check marks to go. What even need? It's going to be a large hunt, a hunt, a hunt, a hunt, and a hunt. Okay, that's not bad. A hunt, a hunt, a hunt, a hunt, a hunt, and a hunt. Oh, okay, wow, it's Simon the Gathering quest left to do. Look at that. Look at that. Thing of beauty. Just a lot of slogging through big old hunts. But some of those are big, so who knows how many more videos it's going to take. However many it requires, I guess. Thanks for watching. Catch you around the next episode, and have a good one. Bye.